Right.
Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling invisible? Like your words just floated in the air and disappeared. You weren't rude, you weren't weird, but somehow you felt like you didn't matter. Like
No, I feel like I'm the MC, bro, to be honest with you. I feel like everybody's paying attention to me. I have the opposite problem, quite literally. And when I'm not trying to talk, that's when I end up talking the best. When I do want to talk, like really put that shit on, like put the convo smooth nigga shit on for like a woman that I'm trying to get with, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Upon the approach, that's when I end up fucking up the most. Oftentimes, bro, the less you try, the better you do. I feel like that shit is really a fact.
You don't have to be funny or brilliant to be impactful. You just have to be human.
What's going on YouTube? CDA Green here, back with another video, and today we have, you're not boring, you just lack conversation skills. That's a fact, bro. Bro called me out. Like, it sucks. Because when I find myself wanting to talk to somebody, say for example, like I'm attracted to, like when it's just with a stranger, like if I don't care to talk, I don't even like care that I'm boring. It's only when you're in a scenario where you want to be more, you know what I'm saying, impressive, you want to seem more outward, you want to seem interesting to like maybe a girl that you're interested in, a friend you want to make, things like that, right? That's the only scenarios where you notice that you might lack combo skills. But I feel like that's because you're just so nervous, you know what I mean? At least with me. But I don't want to say too much in the beginning, so we're gonna just let the vid go. So yeah, you're not boring, you just lack conversation skills. If what I said and the title of the vid caught your interest at all, it left you off on a hook, kinda, you know what I'm saying? Make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe. Thank y'all for watching. Let's just get straight to it.
In today's episode of Inside the Mind, we're going to talk about something a lot of people secretly struggle
this
with,
AI
feeling
shit, bro.
boring. But here's the truth. Most of the time, it's not your personality.
How y'all feel about AI vids, bro? Them shits just kind of creep me out. And it just don't feel like authentic content, like a real nigga made that shit. I can't relate to this fucking AI in my ear, nigga. This voice.
It's your conversation skills. This audio recording includes subtitles, so you can follow along more intentionally and absorb the ideas at your own pace.
Right.
Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling invisible? Like your words just floated in the air and disappeared. You weren't rude, you weren't weird, but somehow you felt like you didn't matter, like you were forgettable.
I feel like I'm the MC, bro, to be honest with you. I feel like everybody's paying attention to me. I have the opposite problem, quite literally. And that's not even on no ego shit. I'm just very self-conscious, to say the least. So yeah, I don't have that issue, my nigga. And when I'm not trying to talk, that's when I end up talking the best. But like I said, when I do want to talk, like really put that shit on, like put the convo smooth nigga shit on for like a woman that I'm trying to get with, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Upon the approach, that's when I end up fucking up the most. Oftentimes, bro, the less you try, the better you do. I feel like that shit is really a fact.
And maybe somewhere deep in your chest you've wondered, am I just boring? Let's pause there, because that quiet, haunting question, it lingers for a lot of people. People like you, who care deeply, think deeply, and feel everything, but struggle to translate that into connection. So, before we go any further, let's get one thing clear. You're not boring, you're just unpracticed, not in life, or thoughts, or ideas, but in one specific, powerful skill, conversation. Now I know, well, that word probably feels small. Conversation? Really? That's the issue? Yes, but hear me out, because what you call boring might just be an underdeveloped ability to hold space, to tell stories, to build bridges with your words. And that's a skill, what I'm not a personality trait. But the lie is persistent, isn't it? Somewhere along the way, you started believing that if people didn't respond to you, you were the problem. You convinced yourself that being overlooked...
Some niggas might just be retarded, like, you feel me? I hate to say that word if that's like a trigger word. But some niggas, they just, you know what I'm saying, they brains, they just can't comprehend or handle convo. When I'm talking to some niggas and then they just like, you know what I'm saying, try to dip out real quick or they don't even listen to me, I'm like, my nigga, I know what I'm not doing. I know what I'm doing ain't the issue. Because I say that to a different person and they all for that shit. You feel me? I talk to my friends about it. I'm telling these niggas the most simple, mundane shit that just happened, but I dress that bitch up like a story with no effort, my nigga. Like, it just be so seamless because I don't really care. You know what I mean? It's all your mindset, it's how you feel. If you feel like you boring, my nigga, like, that shit is bad for you. But if you feel like you're the most interesting nigga in the world, that's what you gonna be. That's your reality, you know what I'm saying? Manifestation, my nigga Young Don. Shout out to him. But yeah, bro, I just feel like, obviously we start, at least self-conscious people, they start blaming themselves, but it's okay to blame other niggas too. Like, some niggas just stupid, bro. It's cool.
Looked was proof you weren't interesting or likable or charismatic enough. You internalized the silence as shame, so you stopped trying, stopped initiating, stopped contributing, started shrinking, and, slowly, you faded into the background of your own life. Let's rewind that story. Let's ask the real question. Who taught you how?
That's definitely how I used to be honest with you. Like, in middle school, or really in school, like, in general. Like, when I was, like, new to the school and shit, bro, like, I just wouldn't want to talk because I'm like, oh, I'm just so embarrassed that he's, like, fucking up and these niggas don't fuck with me. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like that is where that shit comes from, but I'm noticing the more I've grown up, it just feels like people just listen to me more than anyone else, bro. It might be my voice, it might be my presence, my energy. I don't know what it is, but I feel like everybody is looking at me. And that might just be biased. Maybe I'm imagining that shit because I am me and I like to think I'm important. Right? But genuinely, like, people have come up to me during my job and they're like, yo, when you talk, you just hold weight. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you captivate the room just with your voice and shit. I'm like, okay, like, word, that's what's up. Appreciate that. You feel me? And I just feel like when I'm talking, the room just be way more quiet, nigga. And maybe that's because you're just more aware of it because you're the only sound that's happening. But it's just like, damn, like, it just feel like, I don't know, that should make me nervous a little bit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like I'm boring because everybody pay attention to me. It's just sometimes when I'm trying to talk to a John and I can't think of a way to keep the convo going, that's when I start thinking I lack convo skills or that I am boring, right? I just don't care, like, when I'm talking to niggas randomly. Like, if I don't want you to be in my life at all, you know what I'm saying? I don't really care what you think if I'm boring or not, nigga. I don't want to talk. And that'd be the case for most people. So, yeah, it's only in situations where I actually want to be talking to the person that I consider myself to lack conversational skills. And that's because I'm trying so hard to impress them. But when I'm not trying at all, that's when that shit happens the best. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? I feel like a lot of people might deal with the same thing.
How to connect, not just talk, but connect. Because most of us weren't taught this. We were told to speak when spoken to not interrupt, to be nice and polite, but no one showed us how to engage, how to ask curious questions, how to listen with the intent to understand, not just to reply, how to share ourselves in ways that feel authentic, not performative. We weren't given tool, we were given silence, and then made to feel guilty when we didn't know what to do with it. So let me say this again, you're not boring, you just never got a blueprint, and that's not your fault. But now that you're here, it can be your responsibility. Because conversation isn't magic, it's muscle. You build it, you stretch it, you work it out through practice. Every connection is a representative, every awkward silence, a set. And over time, with the right guidance, you start to learn that conversation isn't about dazzling people, it's about being present with them. So if you're feeling stuck, let's look at a few truths together.
Yo, that's a fact, bro. I hate to just keep talking about women. It seems like that's the only thing I care about. But, like, when I'm trying to approach a woman and she says some unforeseen shit, like, in my perfect scenario, I just imagine the girl being there, smiling at me when I call her pretty, smiling at me when she tell me her name, smiling at me when she shake my hand, but she don't really say nothing because then I could get my shit off. But when they unpredictably say something else, like, ask me a question that I didn't expect that shows more interest, I start getting flustered. I'm like, oh, like, you feel me? I try to say the most perfect thing when I came to the scenario with a perfect script in mind. And now she fucking with my script. Like, how dare you fuck with my script, bro? Like, I was already sauce you. You know what I'm saying? But the whole time, that's a conversation. Like, y'all communicating, y'all being present. Like, y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all just bonding, getting to know each other, having a connection. That's what conversations are. But it just feels like, I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? When some unforeseen shit is said to me, I feel like I'm not really listening. I'm just like, oh yeah, okay. Trying to segue it into my shit instead of really listening. Because if you listen well enough to what somebody's saying to you, you'll never run out of things to say. That's just the part of it. You know what I'm saying? If you listen long enough and are not afraid to take that little silence, be like, okay, that's interesting. Whole time during that time, yeah, that's interesting. Now you thinking of the next thing you can say. That's normal. That brief pause, that's normal, bro. Like, just a little bit of silence don't be the end of the world. But it feels like it for people who haven't practiced and don't really know how convos are supposed to go, which is kind of me. I have more convos, you know what I'm saying, just because I'm where I work and because I'm approaching more people, more women and shit, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it just feels like, you know, when you're not familiar with that and you try to have a convo, you're like, oh yeah, I gotta hit all the beats. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting graded on this shit. When no, you're not. You just talking.
Not to judge, not to shame, just to understand. Truth number one, you're probably trying too hard to sound interesting instead of being interested.
Yes.
Think about it. When you're in your head, wondering what to say next, you're not with the other person. You're with your fear. The magic happens when you shift your focus from trying to impress to being curious. Ask deeper questions, reflect what you hear. Let the other person feel seen, because connection isn't built by performing. It's built by witnessing. Truth number two, you might be over-editing yourself in real time. You think something, then instantly question it. Is this dumb? Will they care? Is this the right moment? So you say nothing, and the silence grows. But here's the thing, most people don't remember exactly what you said. They remember how you made them feel. If your energy says, I trust myself, they'll trust you too. Let it be imperfect. Let it be messy, but let it be real. Truth number three, you don't have to be funny or brilliant to be impactful. You just have to be human. Share a story, even a simple one. Talk about something that moved you, made you laugh, made you think. You don't need a big punchline, you need presence and the courage to show a little piece of your world. Here's the core issue though, and it's the one most people never see. Somewhere along the way, you attached your worth to your words. So when people didn't respond the way you hoped, you took it as a verdict, a rejection, a quiet confirmation of your fear. And that fear began writing your identity. I'm not a people person. I just don't know what to say. I'm too quiet. But none of that is your truth. It's just your defense.
Real shit. You don't want to become social. You don't want to face them awkward situations with people. So you convince yourself, oh, I shouldn't even do it because I'm not a people person. I'm not interested. I don't know what to say. Man, it's really like, bro, I'm starting to realize, like, I'm hearing this from so many different sources. It gotta be true. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, even if it is or it isn't, me believing, is that gonna hurt me? If it helps me to improve, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no harm, no foul. So that is definitely a fact, bro. I feel like, you know, people, they try to cope. Like we said, coping mechanism. Yeah. That, you come up with reasons, you justify it just because one bad scenario, you're like, oh yeah, nope, I don't want to experience any bad. So this one situation where it is bad, even though you could have had many good shits before, you're like, no, this one means I'm not meant for this shit. I can't do it properly. When no, the correct thing to do is to keep trying. You gonna fuck up, sure. That's life, bro. That's how you know you're going to improve. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not afraid to fail. It's not going to be bad all the time. You know what I mean? You're going to learn what to do, what not to do. That's what failure shows you. So don't be afraid to just get out there and experience shit. You know what I mean? Do something that's unfamiliar to you. Because when it's unfamiliar, it does feel wrong. But the more you do it, you'll see, nah, this ain't wrong. I just wasn't used to it, my nigga. That's it. So get out there and grow, for real.
A coping mechanism you developed to protect yourself from vulnerability, from missteps, from being misunderstood. But let me ask you this. What if connection is worth that risk? What if one brave, awkward, authentic moment is all it takes to open a door? Not every conversation will flow. Not every person will get you. But that doesn't mean you don't have value. It just means you're still learning how to share it. So what can you do? Here's a path forward. Start with micro practice. Ask one stranger how their day's going. Compliment someone's energy. Text a friend with something random. Not perfect, just real. Be a little braver than your fear wants you to be. Next, practice storytelling.
And that's so true, bro. That's why the genius that overthinks everything makes less progress than the idiot that ain't afraid to try shit. Because things don't have to be perfect. The genius, since nothing can be perfect, and they're always striving for more because they want perfection when that's not attainable, they never make one step. When the idiot, he keeps stepping forward, you know what I'm saying? He might trip, he might roll his ankle in that joint. But my nigga, now he got a cast on, he's still walking and shit, you know what I'm saying? Moving forward, making way more progress than a nigga that ain't took one step. Think about that, bro. For real.
Pick small moments from your life. Learn to tell them with feeling, rhythm, and heart. Not to be entertaining, but to be inviting. Let people in. And finally, build your listening muscles. Most people don't need the perfect response. They need to feel heard. Repeat back what they say. Validate their emotions. Ask follow-up questions. Make the conversation about us, not just you. And when it still feels hard, pause, breathe. Remind yourself, this doesn't mean I'm boring. It just means I'm still unfolding, still learning, still brave enough to try. So here's where I leave you, not with a solution, but with a reflection.
Okay.
If you've ever felt like you disappear in a room full of people, maybe it's not that you're too quiet. Maybe it's that your voice is still learning to trust itself. Maybe your stories are waiting for your permission to be told. And maybe the people you've been looking for, the ones who will really see you and are out there, but they need you to speak up. So, what would happen if today you stopped waiting to be interesting and started being interested, not in performing, but in connecting, not in getting it perfect, but in being present? Would that change the way you see yourself?
Man.
Because I think it might. And hey, you're not in this alone. We're all learning how to be heard, how to feel seen, how to connect without losing ourselves. So if this resonated with you, leave a comment, share it.
AWVid, man, even though it's some AI shit. And it kind of creeps me out. It makes it think that there was somebody behind this video trying to get that meaning. Or maybe the AI was just like, oh yeah, these niggas gonna fuck with this. These shy ass niggas who can't talk, these introverts. Yeah, they gonna fuck with this shit, eat it up. But I do like the message that it resonated. You know what I'm saying? That it, what's it called? Resonate. I don't think I should use that word there, but y'all know what I meant. The message that it told, you know what I'm saying? It resonated with me because it just shows me like, yeah, bro, like I have such a fascination and addiction to being perfect with everything I do, but perfection ain't unattainable. Like you got to really truly accept yourself and learn to love yourself. And that's a great segue into the next video I'm planning to watch. So be on the lookout for that one. You know what I mean? You just got to be comfortable with being yourself, bro. Like things ain't going to be perfect. How people choose to react to you is not up to you. The only thing you can do is show up as yourself and stand on that shit. That's true confidence. That's true self-love, true self-worth. So if y'all agree with the sentiment of this video and what I had to say, I appreciate y'all watching. Make sure to like the video, comment, and subscribe. I would heavily appreciate it if you did. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what else you want to see. Let me know what you thought. Like the vid, of course. Sabat. Share the video with your friends. Anything would be appreciated. But I do appreciate y'all just watching the video. Like it means a lot. Keeps me going. You know what I'm saying? Like it's an audience out there. I just got to tap into it. The potential is off the charts. You just got to keep going. For real. So thank y'all for giving me that hope. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, without further ado, I'm gonna get up out of here. And until next time, I'll catch y'all in the next video. Love y'all. Peace.